Amy.
Roger.
How are you?
We're back.
Yes, it's a new year 2022 in the garden. Where are we?
We are in Wenvo, and some people might recognise this as our woodland lodge. And I'm not quite sure where we're stood though. It's kind of looks like mud and a lot of cardboard right
Did you
now.
just say mud?
Well, to the novice gardener eye, yes, but I'm sure that you've got a plan, Roger, and that all this means something very special indeed.
We do indeed have a cunning plan, and we want to, if you can spare us a few minutes, we want to talk to you about something which is really, really important to all of us. That is the planet and how we can garden and go about our lives in a more organic and environmentally friendly way. And part of that, for us, is understanding, what's this stuff called?
Mud.
Understanding that mud, actually I would call it soil or compost. I went on a little course just before Christmas, an online kind of workshop looking at no-dig gardening, which is what we're going to have a go at, Amy. Okay. And during the course of that little workshop, the lady, very knowledgeable, who's done no-dig gardening for a long time, told us that a handful of soil or compost like this contains more microorganisms than there are people in the world.
Wow.
Billions and billions of microorganisms all working together to produce this lovely soil, which is the kind of the life source for our plants and for us and our planet therefore. So no-dig gardening is what we're going to have a go at here, and no-dig gardening converts what we have here, which is kind of, you know, that's almost mud, that's kind of fairly hard compacted soil, and rather than digging it, which is what I would normally do, we put a layer of cardboard down. That was easy, wasn't it?
It was.
Yeah.
What does this do then?
So the cardboard, this layer of cardboard is to help prevent the weeds coming up for a while. So we're smothering the weeds rather than digging them up. You know, when you dig, you actually release carbon out of the soil, which we don't want to do. We want to be putting carbon back into the soil, locking it in to the soil rather than having it in the atmosphere. So digging can release carbon, which we don't want, and it can damage all those microorganisms that we were just talking about. So rather than digging, down goes the cardboard, and then we put this stuff over the surface of the cardboard. Can you remember what we call this when we put a layer of soil or something on top of the garden?
I've been doing my homework. Is it called mulching?
Look at Amy go. Mulching. I declare 2022 the year of the mulch.
There we go.
Join us on our mulching adventure, why don't you? So,
I'm going to put my gloves on for this.
brand new to Pugh's is this stuff here. Whoa, have a look at that. It doesn't look very nice, does it? Actually, there's very little smell to it. This is a byproduct from the green energy industry.
Oh.
So they construct these huge, like mechanical cows into which at the front end you feed green matter like maize and corn that the farmers have grown, and they cook it in this giant industrial cow which produces gases which then are fed into the national grid, so that's green energy. But out of the back end of the cow, you know what comes out. So it's rich in nutrients, it's totally environmentally friendly, it's organic, it's vegan. Not that I'd eat it personally, but it's a great way of then providing a source of nutrients on top of the cardboard, and later in the spring we can plant into this lovely, I mean, doesn't that look nice? Can you see on the camera there where some of the team have started doing this already over the last week? Do you know what, we're trying to do a nature-friendly garden here, and when I came down here just before you arrived, Amy, the birds were singing. Can you hear them? And the butterfly flew up in the middle of January, so that was almost like nature saying, go for it, you know, giving it their blessing. So we're going to mulch then with this blooming amazing stuff, and all you got to do is tip it out and then spread it over. Don't be shy, Amy.
Let's go. So just spread it.
Spread it over. You want it a couple of inches thick. That's a few centimetres in old language, a new language rather. I get another bag. There you go. We'll have one each. You okay with that?
Yeah.
You could also use, if you've got a compost bin, you could use the well-rotted compost from your compost bin. You could use old pots of compost from your garden. If you're replacing the contents of your pots, you could tip those out onto here. Anything organic like this, bark, I suppose you could use. But I think Blooming Amazing, this new kind of development for environmentally friendly soil is the way to go. And we're going to do that all the way across this garden. You can see on the other side, we'll show you a picture of our lads who did that for us last week. They did the whole of that garden. And we're wondering, what could we grow in this lovely, rich, organic soil that we're developing? What could we grow this summer? We want something that maybe our customers, our viewers could come back every month and watch things progress. So we could plant them in the spring, we could nurture them in the summer, and then harvest something in the autumn.
Right.
Something family friendly, maybe.
Yeah, something you could use to decorate with, perhaps.
And maybe cook with, so decorating and cooking.
Yeah.
Pumpkins! Yes, pumpkins!
Amazing.
So we've got a patch of ground in Pugh's and we're going to grow some pumpkins. What could we call this patch of ground then? Pumpkin, Pugh's, no, patch.
Pugh's pumpkin patch.
Pugh's pumpkin patch. Okay. And do you know what? I've grown a few pumpkins up at the school and I'm hoping we'll smother this with pumpkins. I'm also hoping we can get maybe them up into the tree, over the top of the roof there, into the office, over the archway. We've got vision, we've got soil.
We've got gloves.
We've got gloves, yes. We've got to get back on this and, well, you've got to finish this off. I'm going to go and do some work, very important work in the office. And then in a month's time, we'll have a look then at what we do next, which I think will be to select our pumpkin seeds. So if you like the idea of growing pumpkins, maybe you can do the same at home with your family. That would be great. Come and join us. Let us know what you're doing, what your challenges are. Ask us questions, preferably just about pumpkins, and we'll do this together, and we'll have great fun growing pumpkins this summer.